Hi, this is John from Chicago, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing you the BetaFPV 85X 4S. This model's been out for over a year now, and when I looked on the BetaFPV website, I don't think they're no longer making it. But it's an interesting model. It has huge motors on it for a tiny whoop. It has the 1105 motors at 5000 kV, so that gives it a lot of power. I first saw this model or one similar to it when Nate Payne was flying it, the Shuttlebug. He was doing a video on the 2S model, which I really love. This is one of my highly recommended tiny whoops to get for outdoor flying, but he flew it with bigger motors on it, with 1105 motors, and he really liked it. It had a lot of power for aerobatics, and it was fast, and I agree, it's a nice model. But no one was really buying it, I don't think, because of the price. It's around $200 list price, or with the Crossfire it was over $200, and I think you could get one without a receiver for probably down around $170. But lately, Banggood put these on a 50% off sale, and I was able to get this for $113. So for Crossfire on $113. Tiny whoop, that's cheaper than most tiny whoops. So I went ahead and picked one up, and I've been having a lot of fun flying it. Like I said, it comes with 1105 motors, 3-bladed or 4-bladed props. Well, these are 2-inch props on here. VTX, it's 25 or 200 milliwatts. They use a circular polarized antenna. I did turn that 90 degrees to get a lot better range. It comes hanging out the back, but on a circular polarized antenna, the signal goes out from that dome. So if it's laying down on its side, it's shooting up and down and out the side. And the only way you're going to get good reception is when it's turned 90 degrees to you, or your best reception. So I went ahead and put a zip tie in and flipped it up, so it worked a lot better, as you'll see in my range test coming up. So let's get to the weights. Dry weight is 61.9 grams, and all-up weight with a 4S 450 milliamp hour battery is 117 grams. So let's go to the thrust test and see what power this thing has. Thrust test for the BetaFPV 85X 4S. Now we're doing a range test, and I'm starting with the stock configuration halfway through the test to show you what the stock antenna that's laying with a horizontal axis is doing. Right now I'm coming up to the 200 meter point, and you're starting to get a little bit of breakup right after this tree, and the with this antenna at 200 milliwatts, it should be a lot better than this. So what I ended up doing is I turned the antenna 90 degrees so the signal from the antenna would go out in all directions, and the second test here will work a lot better. It did straighten up here at the end. I had to turn around at 285 meters. I couldn't make the 300 meters, but when I'm 90 degrees to myself, the antenna works a lot better. Okay, now I'm starting the run with the same antenna, but rotated 90 degrees so it's vertical. And I started at the very beginning. My mailbox is at 165 meters. It's where the sidewalk ends in the last house. That's my house. And I start to go out in the field, so it's working quite good. The other thing to note is there's no jello in the camera now. Later on, I've crashed into a bunch of trees and I started to get jello, but before you crash it, it's pretty well jello free. We're at 165 meters right there. We're coming up to 200 meters at this sidewalk there, our bike path, and there's still no jello. The jello, we get just little bits, traces here and there, but it's quite clear all the way to that fence, which is at 300 meters. If I didn't have the fence, I would think it would go another 50 to 100 meters before the signal washes out completely. So the range is quite good at 300 plus meters. Now I'm in the inside the house doing my inside track, and in the past my speeds have been 8 to about 14 seconds with tiny whoops. This one's doing 9-second laps, which is quite good, only a second off like a Mobula 6 or the Mobilite 6 Lite or Mobilite 6. So it's quite good at 9 seconds. It's pretty consistent. I think I've had times as fast as 8 seconds, 9 seconds, and 10 seconds with it. Now I'm on the outdoor track, and this is where it really shines. This is my fastest tiny whoop that I've had, and it averaged 9.9 seconds per lap. So I'm doing 9 seconds per lap. One thing I've noticed is it has jello in it, and that's because I've crashed a number of times. I have replaced the props. It helped a little bit, but it didn't take all the jello out. So there's something else that's causing that from my crashes, which I need to work on a little bit. But 9 seconds, there's a crash after my times. Now I'm going out to the big field and trying that. And my times on these, I think if I'm doing a larger quad, 14 seconds is a good time. But with the tiny whoops, anywhere from 17 up to about 23, 24 seconds when I run the larger track is my norms for tiny whoop, and this is averaging 17 seconds per lap. One of the things that hurt this a little bit, as you can see, is I'm looking down at the ground quite a bit because there's no camera angle adjustment. And I think if there's a camera angle adjustment, I could maybe get another second or so out of this quad. But on the big track, it does fairly good. You could try to push it all the way, push the throttle forward, although right there I was only 40% throttle. But the 1105 motors are definitely a plus when you get into a larger area and you want to add some speed. Now I'm doing some freestyle. It does power loops, rolls quite well. There's no yaw washout on it with the bigger motors. Even though it's a tiny whoop, larger motors compensate for the yaw washout. So if you want to practice freestyle, this might be a good quad to get. Coming up, I'm going to show you a spreadsheet. It will show you you could pause the video and see the details. It's the bottom one in yellow on the spreadsheet. Some of the noteworthy things is with the sale that I bought it for at half price, it was $113 with a Crossfire large motors, 1105. It's the fastest time outside on the playground track at 9 seconds. And it still has, the range is great at 300 plus meters, and I get about a 4-minute run time, and overall I gave it a 4 out of 5. So if you have any comments or questions, please leave those below. And this is John from Chicago, and thanks for watching.